The movie begins with a girl named Eva, who has come to attend the engagement party of her classmate's friend. Her friend's name is Danica. During the party, Danica's fiancé is seen talking to Eva's ex. Actually, Eva recently had a breakup, and today, after many years, they meet again. After the engagement function is over, all four friends sit together and talk late into the night. Since it was the 4th of July, they decide to go out to watch the fireworks. Before leaving, Eva sees her other friend, Stevie. They think of taking Stevie along. Stevie works at a bar. When Eva asks her to join them, she refuses, saying she has lots of work, but her coworker tells her to go and that she will handle everything. So Stevie leaves with the group. On the way, Danica's fiancé suddenly screams, scaring everyone, but it was just a joke. Soon, they reach their destination, but Danica's fiancé starts behaving strangely, almost like he is out of control. When another car arrives, he stands in front of it and refuses to move. His behavior angers everyone, but he doesn't care. The incoming car tries to avoid hitting him, but in doing so, it loses control and falls into a ditch. Everyone is terrified and runs to help the driver. But before they can save him, the car sinks into the water. Eva and Stevie want to help, but they find no way to get down there. Danica's fiancé decides to call the police. Danica says it was just an accident. Such things happen on these roads. But Eva's ex says that they were standing on the road and that it was their fault. We basically killed him, he says. Danica's fiancé returns saying the police are on the way and convinces the group to leave before they arrive. Eva and Stevie don't like this idea, but they are forced to follow. Eva's ex says, "We tried to save him. It wasn't possible. Let's leave." But while driving, Eva realizes they are not going to the police station. They are going home. Everyone goes their separate ways. Danica's fiancé says, "We will forget everything. The police will handle it." Eva dislikes this idea and leaves silently. A whole year passes. Now it is Danica's wedding day. Eva arrives at the ceremony and is surprised to learn that Danica is not marrying her former fiancé. She broke up with him after the accident. Stevie is also present. While opening wedding gifts, Danica finds a card that reads, "I know what you did last summer." She is shocked and asks who sent it, but nobody knows. Danica thinks her ex-fiancé sent it because he went crazy after the accident. Eva's ex explains that the man who died had no family, and Danica's ex's father, who is the town's mayor, handled the case to keep his son's name out of it. They confront Danica's ex, who is shocked and denies sending the letter. That night, Danica senses someone outside her house. When she checks, her fiancé startles her playfully. She then goes to shower while he drinks outside. Suddenly, the lights outside turn on. When he steps out to check, the lights turn off and an arrow pierces his shoulder. No one else is home and Danica has headphones on while showering, so she hears nothing. A masked killer enters and murders him using a large hook. After her shower, Danica comes downstairs and sees a horrifying scene. Her fiancé dead, and on the wall, written with his blood, "You can't erase the past." The next morning, all friends gather and try to understand who is doing this. They mention people who might have known about last year's accident. Eva talks about her new friend who recently did a podcast about a new killer. Danica plays the podcast. It talks about murders from 1997, where victims were killed using a hook, the same method. Eva says suspecting the podcaster is crazy. She only met her recently. The next morning, Eva visits the podcaster, who takes her to an old house and behaves strangely, repeatedly talking about the 1997 murders committed by the serial killer. She whispers that the killer left her a note too. "I know what you did last summer." She shows Eva the note. She also talks about a professor and a man named Ray, survivors of that town's killer. Eva begins to get scared. The podcaster tells her to wait, then goes upstairs. Eva tries calling for help. Suddenly, Eva sees the masked killer standing before her. She thinks it's the podcaster playing a prank, but the podcaster appears upstairs, meaning the real killer is actually in front of her. The killer attacks her. Eva fights back, injuring him with a knife. She locks herself in a room.
When she feels the killer is gone, she comes out. The podcaster arrives, but suddenly a large cage falls on Eva, trapping her. She screams for help. The podcaster runs away. Just then, Stevie arrives and rescues Eva. As they try to escape, the podcaster's dead body drops from above, hanging. Police arrive and secure the crime scene. They announce that next morning there will be a mandatory town meeting for everyone involved. Eva, Stevie, and others are confused and scared. Eva decides to meet the survivor professor. The professor avoids discussing her past trauma, but Eva begs her for help. Seeing Eva's fear, she agrees and comes home with her. Eva asks the professor if she can come with her to the town. The professor replies that it won't help. What truly matters is finding out who the killer is. Tracking him down is the only important thing. During the town meeting, the police announced that the podcaster died by suicide because her mental health history proves she was unstable. Hearing this, Eva strongly disagrees and says, "She was not the killer. When I went to the killer's house, the real killer was there. He chased me and even tried to kill me." Everyone is shocked, but the police refuse to believe her and consider their evidence more valid. Meanwhile, Ray, the second survivor of the old killer case, and someone who survived along with the professor, arrives. He tells the police bluntly that they should take Eva seriously and handle the case properly. Police assure him they will, and say that for such cases, they always take help from the town's father, who is sitting right there. The father stands up and says, "Whoever needs help can come to my house."
Stevie approaches Ray because she never knew he was also a survivor of the same killer. Ray says he doesn't like talking about it. Stevie says she and her friends have a few questions. Here we learn that Ray was once the professor's husband. He is upset that his ex-wife told these people to investigate the killer, saying it may lead them all to death. Danika's ex-fiancé says there is only one solution: we must escape this town. But Ray, who knows the killer well, says it's not a good idea. Police review the report that says the man who died last year was drunk driving, and the car he drove was stolen. Ray says they must find out who originally rented the car. They visit a rental service asking for old records. They have no license plate number. Eva begins acting, crying and saying, "The driver was my brother. He died in that accident." The man feels sympathetic and gives them the information. Ray decides they will now search for the stolen car. Meanwhile, Danica and her ex-fiancé go to the cemetery to visit the dead man's grave. They find fresh flowers placed there. When the caretaker arrives, they ask who placed them, but he says he doesn't know. When they request the CCTV footage, he agrees and goes to check it. Just as he is about to find something, the killer appears behind him and slits his throat. It is now late at night. The caretaker hasn't returned, so Danica's ex-fiancé goes to check. Danica waits alone. Suddenly, when she turns around, the killer is standing right in front of her. Terrified, she runs and hides in a storage room. She finds a telephone and tries to call for help, but the killer enters. Danica hides under the stage, but the killer finds her and attacks. Just when he is about to kill her, her ex-fiancé arrives and knocks the killer aside, saving her. The killer runs away. The professor, who is at home, hears a knock. It is Ray. She lets him in. Ray says he is upset that she told Eva to look for the killer, knowing it could get everyone killed. Meanwhile, all friends are together and Danica is recovering. Eva's ex gets a strange feeling and goes out to his car to calm himself. When he returns, he sees the door locked from inside. As he walks toward the window, the killer appears behind him and strangles him with a rope. Eva sees the killer drive away in her ex's car.
The next morning, Eva and Danica go to the father. Danica feels something strange and excuses herself to go to the washroom. The father behaves oddly with Eva. Inside the father's chamber, Danica finds a photo in a book. The father is standing with the man who died in the accident. Suddenly, a woman enters to take the book. The father walks inside and Danica quickly hides in a cupboard. The father senses something is off, but leaves with the book. That evening, they go to the police station to report this, but the police think they are falsely accusing the father. The officer leaves the room, telling them to wait. Meanwhile, Danica's fiancé is relaxing in a steam heating room at home. He sees a stranger-like figure, but when he opens his eyes again, no one is there. When he walks forward, he sees a message on the door. "You are next." Back at the station, Eva realizes they are locked inside. She shouts for help, but no one responds. Here, it is revealed that Ray is actually Stevie's boss. He tells her he promised her father he would always protect her, and he is doing so. Danica's fiancé at home hears the gate open. He checks and sees a statue in the corner, but fails to notice the real killer standing behind him. The killer attacks him with a knife, but he fights back fiercely. He beats the killer brutally. Just then, his father turns off the music and walks outside. Shocked to see his wounded son, he runs toward him, but the killer suddenly attacks and kills the father. At the police station, Danica falls asleep and dreams of being attacked with a hook. She wakes up terrified. The police finally release both Eva and Danica. Everyone goes to the crime scene where Danica's fiancé has been murdered. Danica breaks down in tears. Ray tells them they must escape the town using a boat. They go to Eva's ex's car, where Eva finds his dead body. She also cries uncontrollably. With no choice left, the three girls board the boat and leave. The police also start suspecting the father and go to arrest him, only to find that he too has been murdered. On the boat, Eva and Danica hear something fall in the cabin. Meanwhile, police find a group photograph in the father's house, showing the dead man's partner, and she is none other than Stevie.
The truth is revealed. Stevie is the killer, and she is on the boat with them. Stevie suddenly attacks Danica and reveals her true identity. "Just like you took my love away from me, now you will feel the same pain," she screams. Eva sees a flare gun and tries to grab it, but Stevie stops her. A hook falls to the floor. Danica grabs it and runs. Stevie chases her. Suddenly, Ray arrives to help. He points a gun at Stevie, but she holds Danica at hook point. Danica manages to strike Stevie and break free. With no option left, Ray shoots Stevie and she falls into the water. Later, Eva is with Ray at the bar. When Ray removes his shirt, Eva panics because the place where she stabbed the killer in the podcaster's house shows a matching wound on Ray. She realizes Ray is the second killer. Terrified, she tries to leave, but the door is locked. Ray appears with a hook. Eva fights him fiercely and escapes. The professor arrives at the bar. As she enters, Ray stabs her. He pushes Eva aside and tells the professor, "Sweetie never recovered from the trauma of losing her parents and her love. I supported her." Just then, Eva shoots him with a crossbow. The arrow pierces through him, killing him instantly. Danica is later seen alive on the shore. Eva and Danica are treated in the hospital, where they learn that Stevie is still alive. They say that this time they won't spare her because one killer, Ray, is dead and the other, Stevie, must be killed as well. And with this, the story ends.